Hey folks, this is Ricky Garcia, and as part of our effort for the Skywriters Making a Difference campaign, I thought it would be fun to reminisce, record, and share stories from our drum corps days. I am joined by the esteemed Dr. Brenda Phillips. She is a retired dentist and who is easily one of my best friends that I made while I was in the Skywriters. So today we're going to talk a little bit about our culture clash. These aren't necessarily Midwest isms, but just the culture clash that we experienced coming from different states and in some cases different parts of the world. Let me share one of my stories. We were in the food line, and I as I made my way down the food line, I grabbed a donut and I took a bite out of that donut and I spit it out and I said, "Oh, this is the worst donut I've ever had." And Cora Allen, our drum major Milt Allen's mother, said, "Sweetheart, that's not a donut, that's a bagel." And and she says, "Sweetheart, aren't there any Jewish people where you're from?" And I was just confused and embarrassed because I thought I should know what a bagel was, and I didn't. Um, and I said, "No." And the irony is today I ended up marrying into a Jewish family and I raised my daughter Jewish. And every weekend I now eat bagels with lox. The second story I want to tell involves Brenda here. I'll let you start the story.
What do you ask for when you want to have a soda?
I just say when I want to have a soda, I'll say, "What kind of Coke do you want?"
Mhm.
In South Texas, we say, what kind of Coke do you want?" And then it's followed up by whatever you want. So what kind of Coke do you want? I think I'll have a Dr. Pepper.
Mhm. Which really doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, it
So
doesn't.
in Kansas, it's pop. What kind of
Yes,
pop do you want? Soda
I,
pop.
I had never heard that before. It was strange to me. I was peculiar.
Mhm.
And it took me for, I, I had to I was taken aback because I'd never heard it before. Logically, when I think about this, it makes more sense either to call it soda or pop or even soda pop because you're not singling out a single brand name.
Right.
Uh, yes, but pop, never heard that one before. We were we were in the bread line, Brenda,
Yes,
and what happened? Not the bread line, the food line.
the food line. Yes, and if you get to the end, you have kind of the things have been picked over. So yes, we got there, and I remember saying, all they got left in the bread are the heels. And you were like, what's a heel? It's the ends of the loaf of bread. It's a heel. What do you call them?
And embarrassingly, I did not know the term for the end of the bread in English. The term I used was the colitas. Don't you call them the colitas?
Nope.
Which is it's las colitas, which is tails in Spanish. And I was embarrassed that I didn't know the term in English. I was 15 going on 16 and didn't know the term. So Brenda introduced me to that term, and now I use it often. Like, oh yeah, I think I'll put some peanut butter and jelly on the heels of the
The
bread.
heel of the bread.
I say that now. Thanks to you.
I'm trying to learn Spanish, and I actually found myself saying Las Colitas the other
Oh,
day.
that's funny. That is hilarious. Full circle, right? Full circle. The other one was I had an interaction with Martin Van Hinsberg. This is 1981. He was from England, and he was the first punk rocker I ever met. He had safety pins that went from his ear all the way to his mouth. Um, and I happened to be sitting next to him, and he says, "Hey, mate, are you going to finish your biscuit?" And I sat there just confused. I said, "Biscuit?" And I looked at my plate. Now I'm thinking biscuits and gravy, buttermilk biscuits. And all I had on my plate was a chocolate chip cookie. It was like Chips Ahoy, one of those types of things.
Yes, those
And
fine
and,
cookies
and,
we
I,
had.
and so I said, "You mean my chocolate chip cookie?" And he said, "Yeah, your biscuit." He said, "Yes, your biscuit." And I'm like, uh, "I'm eating my chocolate chip cookie, not my biscuit." So interestingly, if you watch the show Ted Lasso, the term biscuits became popularized for cookies, and here we are now. So again, just one of the different culture clashes that a lot of us learned when we first moved to Hutchinson.
Mhm.
There's a lot of new things going on for us, and we somehow all adjusted and adapted, and we made it. And it's a really cool thing. Thanks, Brenda.
Uh-huh.